Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on this chilly Friday, our last Friday speaker series of 2021, which I'm not okay with. No one asked me, but that's fine. We are very, very pleased and honored to have Sarah Avery and Melanie Gable here from Carlow University. And with no further ado, I'm going to turn it over to them to tell you all the wonderful things about Carlow and how they got to be there. So with that, Ms. Sarah and Ms. Melanie, it is all you.
Thank you. So yes, I am Sarah Avery. I am the success coach for the Pittsburgh Promise students at Carlow. So my whole job is working specifically with Pittsburgh Promise students to help you identify your goals and reach them successfully. That's like the whole tagline of my position. I got my undergraduate degree at Westminster College for English. I thought I wanted to be an English teacher, worked my way into the classroom, took a quick pivot out of teaching, did some curriculum development, worked as an admin before deciding that higher education is exactly where I want to be. It takes all of the things about teaching that I absolutely love, like working with students, helping them identify their goals, removing barriers to their success. So I got my master's degree at IUP and I graduated in May of 2020, right when the pandemic hit. And then I job searched and found this position at Carlow, and I have been there ever since. I just passed my 1-year mark. So I'm really excited about my position and everything that I get to do, and my ability to help students. So that's just like a short snippet of who I am and where I came from.
And I'm Melanie Gable. I'm an assistant director of enrollment at Carlow. My job is to really work with students from the very beginning of, researching colleges, just answering questions, all the way through the application process, reviewing students for admission and also for scholarships. I also work with students through the financial aid process, all the way through registering for courses and through matriculation if you do decide to join us in our Carlow family. I do work with all of the city schools here in Pittsburgh. That's part of my territory, along with a lot of other areas, but that's just one small section of my territory. So I would work with all of you through the admissions process. And like I said, as an enrollment counselor, I'm kind of your one point person through this whole process. If you don't know who to ask, I'm your person. Again, from just asking questions all the way through matriculation. I've been at Carlow for over 14 years now. I've been here for a very long time, and I did use the word Carlow family, and I don't use that lightly. At Carlow, we are a very close-knit community with all of the wonderful support on campus. It's just a really wonderful place to be. I, like Sarah, got my undergraduate degree from Westminster College, which is pretty interesting. I have a degree in sociology and psychology. Unfortunately, when I was at Westminster, I really didn't utilize the resources on campus like I should have. I really didn't even know what resources were on campus. I didn't even though it was a small campus, I didn't even know what resources were available to me. So when I graduated with a degree in sociology and psychology, I was like, oh, okay, what next? What do I do with this degree? I didn't even have an internship, which was really interesting that was not required. I did a lot of research and things like that, but nothing that really prepared me for what's next after college. So I decided, okay, I'm not sure what to do with this degree. I'm going to go get a teaching degree. I know what a teaching degree is going to allow me to do. I will become a teacher. So I got a teaching degree from Slippery Rock University. I taught for a little while and saw that really wasn't kind of my niche. It wasn't really for me. And then I saw higher education and this role, just like Sarah was saying, it kind of uses all of my education with sociology and psychology and education in one, from the counseling aspect through the education aspect to really help students through this process. So I really found a perfect placement for me. Once I was at Carlow, I got my MBA from Carlow. So I have both sides of the experiences as a staff member and as a student at Carlow. So I got to see both aspects of the university. but I love being here. And I will tell you a lot more about Carlow a little later on, but I'm going to turn it back over to Sarah.
Yeah, so our presentation is going to be in two parts, just so you know what's coming up. I'll handle the first part, which is about like owning your college experience, and also a little bit about the Pittsburgh Promise program we have at Carlow University, all the supports we have for our Pittsburgh Promise students. And then Melanie's going to take it away for a broader overview look at what Carlow is all about and some of the really unique things that make us special. And we are not like lecture type people, so this is going to be really engagement based. So Trinity, you are going to be put on the spot a lot as our lone student, but that's okay because we're all here to like work together and learn together, which is one of the cool differences between high school and college. So to do a little icebreaker, I have some fun true and false questions. So Trinity, do you think that you will or will not make any friends in college?
True, I will make friends.
Yes, you will make friends. So the last question would be false, but that works, right? So yeah, you are definitely going to make friends. It might be difficult to do.
Trinity will definitely make friends.
Yeah, you'll make friends. It'll be good. The key is to put yourself out there, be open to new experiences, and let all of your little light shine that you have within yourself. Here's another tougher one. If I fall behind, extra credit is offered by most faculty who are like our professors. Do you think that is true or false?
I feel like it's false. I don't know why.
It is false. Extra credit is generally not a thing in college. So it's really important to take advantage of all of the point opportunities that you have. Here's another one about assignments in the classroom. Extensions for assignments are always available. If you miss a test, you will be allowed to make it up. You think it's true or false?
I think that's definitely false.
It is definitely false. Extensions for assignments are rarely available. If you miss a test, you will likely not be allowed to make it up. With COVID and everything, we've seen a little bit more flexibility around deadlines and things because everyone understands that there are extenuating circumstances right now. But traditionally, there aren't as many opportunities to get extensions as there might be in high school. There are a few ways though. So if you work with your disability services office to get accommodations, if you had an IEP in high school, you might be able to get some extensions. So that might be the exception to the rule. But generally, these sorts of things are not available in college. So you really have to be on top of yourself. How about this one? Faculty are open to a variety of communications platforms like texting and email from personal and college emails. Do you think this is true or false?
Is the question like asking like does like the college have like a whole bunch of like communication?
Well, do you think your teachers or professors would want to be communicated with via texting or emailing from your personal email addresses?
False. I was taught that, or I was taught and told like you were supposed to have like a school email.
Yeah, you are correct. Faculty are generally not open to a variety of communications. And some schools actually have specific rules around that, where the official means of communication is email, specifically your college email that your college gives you. So it's really important that you maintain that email and check it regularly. This is something that I regularly talk with students about, so I thought it would be important to include in here just because it's a very, very common topic.
Yeah, fun fact, all of your information at college is protected under what's called FERPA. So using your college email kind of ensures that the professor is actually engaging with you and not somebody else, because all of that information is protected information. So that's why they prefer to use your college email account, because that is supposed to be the most secure way to communicate your personal information.
How about our final true or false? You will never get the hang of college.
False.
Clearly false. You can and will succeed at college. Success does require a few things like hard work, resiliency, and a willingness to ask questions, which from our previous conversation, it sounds like you have all of those. So I think you will not have a problem with this part, I think. So a lot of what we've already talked about is all about like owning your own experience at college. So what does that mean to you, Trinity? What's your definition of owning your own experience?
Being in control of how you succeed in college.
Okay. So what does success look like to you?
Good grades.
Okay.
Well, like, are we talking about college-wise or just like in general?
I think either. Yeah.
Is it any wonder that we love when Trinity comes around?
Yeah, I think like college-wise, I think I just like want to be on top of my work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't want to pay to fail.
Yes. Yes. So being on top of your work, being able to maintain good grades, it sounds like there's a lot of responsibility that falls on you, right, for owning your experience because it's yours. You don't want to pay to fail, right? You're invested in this. And so it's something that you need to take care of.
Oh, and also to like add to your that question, to not let other people's experiences make you like back down and not want to be successful either.
Yes. So listening to your own voice and being true to who you are. Yes, that's perfect. That's a great answer. And actually all of that all tied together, I think sums up with this slide really well. All of those things, owning your experience, taking responsibility for yourself, being true to who you are, authenticity, that all has to do with being an adult, right? That's what it means to exist as an adult in our world. And while college might be similar to high school, it's also really different. It's not something you've ever experienced before. Like, you know what it's like to be in a classroom, be around other students, but the expectations, norms, and experiences will be different from a high school. And a lot of the success for you will fall on your shoulders, but that doesn't mean you have to do it alone. But there is your own responsibility as an adult to take charge and really own your experiences. So we were trying to figure out the annotation portion of this. I had a really cool idea where we could all write on the screen together, but technology is as technology does, and that's not quite working. So we'll just talk through some of these in a discussion format. So these are 3 different areas of college that I talk about most with students, I think. There's academics, relationships, and also the personal things that we have to take care of as people and adults. So what are some of the challenges that might be associated with the academic side of the college experience?
So, can you repeat that question? It was skipping on my end.
Oh, that's okay. What are some of the academic challenges you might think of around the college experience?
Academic challenges?
Yeah.
Maybe not being in communication with your teacher 24/7.
Okay. So communicating with your professor, yeah.
Yeah, because like they have more like kids like in a classroom versus just like in high school.
Yeah, so thinking about their workload, their care responsibility, yeah, that's definitely a challenge. How about the relationships area of college experience? What challenges do you think you might encounter there?
Maybe not having a relationship with your teacher, or maybe letting your personal friendships get in the way of your academics.
Yeah. So you're hitting on 2 really, really big ones. I'll take the second one first. So relationships with friends may be getting in the way of your college experience, like academics. So that's really about prioritizing which relationships are most important to put your effort into. And then the other one is not having a relationship with your professor. That can be really dependent on what type of school you go to. If you go somewhere huge where you're in a lecture hall of 300 students, it's going to be really, really difficult to create those relationships with your professor. If you go to a liberal arts school where there's maybe 15 people in the classroom, you are almost forced to create a relationship with your faculty member or your professor, which can be really intimidating if we haven't done that before. So those are two, I think, very important and relevant challenges that you might have. Let's say the next one, personal responsibilities. What are some challenges you can think of in that area?
Trying to stay motivated and like be on top of your schoolwork.
Perfect. Yeah. So motivation is key. Being on top of your schoolwork. That's a little bit of that self-discipline piece. That's really, really important, but also challenging if we haven't had to do that before. Because in college, people are not going to be hounding us. They're not going to be reminding us of deadlines. They're going to expect that we're adults and we have it all under control, which if we haven't done that before, can trip us up. I see a lot of that with my students. So let's say,
I'm sorry, just to interrupt really quickly.
Yeah.
Trinity, I know I've said this to you before, but I just want to reiterate it because it seems like an important point to belabor. I turn 34 next week, and I still don't necessarily feel like an adult all the time.
Yes.
And I still feel like there are things, I mean, a lot of the things that you'll be going through over the next few years, I'd probably say like, yeah, I have a handle on that. But of course I have a handle on how to go through college. I graduated 10 years ago, which is weird to say out loud. So if, you know, do you remember what I said are the two groups of people, Trinity? What are the two types of people in the world? Do you remember what I said?
Was it during SRAF?
Yeah, I've said it a couple times during SRF. I said it during orientation. There are people that admit that they're going through life for the first time and they're doing the best they can. And what's the second group of people? Do you remember?
No, I don't.
Liars.
No. I was going to say procrastinators, but then I'm all the way
Yeah,
out.
no, and that too, you know, but we're all doing this for the first time, right? So anytime you look around and you're like, wow, that person's really got their stuff together. Keep in mind, inside their head, they're probably like, wah! So whatever it is, don't let yourself get down because you feel like other people have it together because they're doing it for the first time, just like you are. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mr. Jeremy.
My pleasure. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt, Miss Sarah.
No, that's totally fine. That is like the best advice ever, I think. So since we weren't able to like write our challenges down and now we're just looking at more blank squares that say strategies at the bottom, Trinity, what were like the two top challenges that you mentioned for you that were the most pressing that you would want to talk about strategies for?
Maybe procrastinating.
Okay.
And organization.
Perfect. Those are two things that I talk about a lot with students as a success coach, actually. So organization and procrastination can really impact, I would say, like the academic side and also the personal responsibilities. That's some of that self-regulation piece. So have you ever experienced times where you either procrastinated or were disorganized?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. What were some of the things that helped you through that?
I think I could say like Mr. Jeremy and Miss Carla, because like we just started school back up, but like last year, it's kind of hard not to like procrastinate because we were like virtual and stuff like that. So like being on a computer every day and having help with like my Spanish work with Mr. Jeremy, that kind of helped me not procrastinate like a lot. Like that helped me a lot.
Yeah. So using the people around you.
That's the right answer,
Yes,
Trinity.
use your resources.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is the perfect strategy that we highly, highly recommend. So using your resources, using the people around you, great idea. There's also tools you can use. So for organization, using a calendar is a great option. Procrastination, you can also use your resources, like having people like accountability partners to keep you responsible for your things. So those are really, really wonderful strategies. So this one's going to be rhetorical. What do we need to complete these strategies? Basically, we need the resources to be able to help us do the things that we need to do. And these might be people, these might be things, this might be a little bit of strengthening our own resolve and getting into healthy habits. So these are all things that we could use in order to achieve the strategies we just talked about. So this was another one I wanted to like use the annotation for, because all of these people can help with the different areas, academic, relationship building, and also some personal, the personal responsibilities that we have to be responsible for in college. And these are all people that, regardless of what school you end up at, these people might be available. So if you have, we have at Carlow a Center for Academic Achievement. There's other institutions that have similar types of centers that might be called different things. And in those areas, you might have your academic coaches and your peer tutors. If you live on campus, you're going to have a resident director, maybe a resident assistant. And these people can really help you with different areas of your life. It's like, I compare college to a community, right? So if you're in high school, you have different teachers for different subjects. That's what they're the experts of. You also have your nurse or your guidance counselor. You're going to have your principal. If you go out into the community, there might be a church that you can go to for spiritual health. You're going to have like your regular doctor. Maybe you go to a gym or have a gym teacher. All of these different people can help you in different ways. And we are not strong individuals if we're neglecting one part of our life. So if I decide that, you know what, I don't want to at all go see my math teacher because I don't like math and I'm never going to use my math in my life, right?
Miss Sarah, how did you get a hold of my diary from college?
Exactly. But now that we're adults, like I have to use math a lot. I'm trying to buy a house, and it would have been really, really helpful if in high school I had a better relationship with my math teacher. So like that's big, giant analogy metaphor, but essentially as strong adults, we want to be able to take advantage of all of the resources that are available to us, because all of these different people can help us with different things, and we're going to need them in order to be successful. So another rhetorical question. I mean, I hope your answer would be absolutely no. Using resources is not a weakness. Sometimes we feel like we want to be strong, and so that means we must do everything alone. That is not the case. If we are playing a game for the first time, like let's say we're playing Monopoly for the first time and everyone else at the table has already played Monopoly, and we don't ask what the rules are or ask if anyone can help us, we're gonna lose the game because we don't understand what's going on. Using the people around us, asking the questions is going to allow us to navigate the environment so much better than if we decided that we didn't want to ask for any help at all. So please, please, please use the people who are around you. Ask the questions, build the relationships. Even though the responsibility of your success is yours, we are all here to support you and help you be successful. So that's, I think, part of growing up is recognizing that we sometimes need help, and that's okay. And we can also be advocates for ourselves. If we want something changed, we have to tell other people that we need it changed. And that's why we have people around us to do that. So here's just some quick tips for incoming college students. These are things that I have compiled based on the conversations I have with a lot of first years. And these are a lot of the relevant topics that I talk a lot about all of the time. So the first one is to say yes to things. This is a part of the relationship building. Try any sort of new thing. If it sounds interesting, just go for one meeting, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to stick with it. This could be trying something new. This could be trying something old, just trying to experience new people, new way of doing things, but try everything as much as you can. I've gotten jobs because I directed a murder mystery dinner. I've gotten interviews because I played the flute, right? So you never know what a new hobby might lead you to do. So try. Tips for making friends. This is one of the things where we have to stretch ourselves and go out. So go to campus events, even if you're alone. Other people are going to be as uncomfortable as you are. So you can at least be uncomfortable together. Start a group me or teams with your classes. That's a great way to ask questions to see if other people are understanding or not understanding the same content as you are. You can go to campus tutoring. That's not just for focusing on areas where you don't feel as successful in, but you can build relationships. I encourage students that one of the best ways to study is by teaching others. So if you make a tutoring appointment, you can go and teach the tutor and they can help you figure out where your gaps are. So it's not like you're asking them for help. It's like you're going to teach them. It makes you feel like you have a little bit more power in the relationship. Attend all of your orientation sessions, especially your organization fair. Be as involved in campus things as you possibly can. That's one of the best way to meet people and make friends. And also, like, don't be afraid to be silly. College is one of the best places to start over, start fresh, away from people that you know and their thoughts and judgments. So this is just a place where you can explore your own authenticity and try on a new hats and see what fits. There is comfort in discomfort. We grow in those spaces. If we're too comfortable, we don't stretch ourselves. If we are too uncomfortable, we get paralyzed and sometimes we'll crack. So there's like this sweet spot right in the middle, and that's where we grow. So if you find other people who are also in that same spot, that's where you can make friends and grow through that shared experience. Use your syllabus. You will get a syllabus for every college class that you get. And this is one of the best ways to understand how to be successful in any given class. It will tell you when assignments are due, how much assignments are worth, when exams are, any upcoming papers, how to communicate with your faculty member, what their office hours are. Office hours are the time that faculty set aside each week so that you can go and meet with them and talk with them about the class. So take advantage of those. But your syllabus is one of the best resources you can find for each individual class. Once you have your syllabus, you're going to want to make a calendar kind of like this. And you can use any different type of scheduling platform. You can use a paper one, you can use an application. This is Outlook, which is Carlow's official, like, we're a Microsoft campus, so we use Outlook. And having a calendar like this will show you where your open spaces are and how you can fit things in. So if I was working with students, I have them create something like this on paper, and then we can calculate how much free time they have. And then we calculate how much time each assignment takes. So having a visual of how everything looks lets you know that you actually have a lot more time on your hands than you would have ever imagined, even if you feel like college is a lot, which it is, but you have the resources and the availability and the time to make it work. The other big piece is figuring out how to understand the content. And these next few slides might be overwhelming, but just screenshot and then take a look at them afterwards, because these are ones that I use all the time and my students love them and refer back to them frequently, which makes me laugh. I love, love, love Bloom's taxonomy. It is the hierarchy of 6 different learning levels. And these are different ways that we use the content in our classes, and they grow on top of each other. So at the base, we have remember and knowledge and understand. This is generally about where we are in high school. Once we get to college, we're going to be applying, analyzing, and evaluating, and maybe even creating. It's a higher way of thinking and using content, and the questions are going to be different. That is one of the biggest thing I've seen from my college students, is that they're expecting questions that are on the remember and understanding level, but their professors are asking things that are analyzing and evaluating. So the way we're thinking about content has to change. So knowing that we're being asked to use content in a different way is half of the battle. So once we know that we're being asked to use it differently, then we can start studying and learning to match the questions that we're being asked. So these are the sort of activities that we will be doing. So remembering is just recognizing and recalling facts. Understanding is understanding what things mean. So that might be asking for dates and understanding, like organizing things. Applying, analyzing, and evaluating, we are, as it says, applying the information to new ideas. We're analyzing, where we're breaking down information into various pieces, and evaluating is judging how things go. And creating is making whole new things with the information you've gained. So this is a very, very simple construct of what that would look like if we're talking about apples. So remembering is, what's an apple? You can explain that to me. Understanding, we need to understand the process by which an apple grows. We know that there's a seed, we plant it in the ground, a tree grows, an apple comes on the tree. Very simple. Once we get up to apply, we're talking about the information of how do we use an apple. So we need to remember what an apple is in order to apply that information. Analyzing, can we compare the apples? So we might want to think about the color or the texture or the taste or the smell, and then be able to evaluate and decide which type of apples are better for different things. So if we're creating an apple pie, which type of apple, which is comparing, would be the best for that apple pie? And then finally, if we're creating, we need to take all of that information from all of the previous steps in order to make something new. So in college, we will find that education layers on top of itself in complexity. So if we are still focused on these bottom two levels, we're not going to be able to understand when someone is asking us to go through all steps and create something new. So understanding these steps is, I think, one of the more important things of being successful in the classroom. Because if we don't know how to answer the questions, we can't answer them correctly. Trinity, do you have any questions on this?
No, thank you.
Okay, perfect. If you do, you can Google it. There's lots of information available, or reach back out.
Okay.
And finally, find your advocate. These are people who will fight for you if things are going wrong. They can be sounding boards if you just want to like process information. They can give you information, or they can remove barriers to your success. They will have your back and they will fight for you. I have been an advocate for students where things have been going on outside of school, like maybe they were experiencing homelessness or food insecurity or financial trouble, and they needed someone else to help them talk to their faculty members. So I will work with them and talk to their faculty at the same time to explain things maybe a little bit more, like, I don't know, eloquently is the right word, but in a way that makes the faculty, helps the faculty understand the external like situations that are going on. So it's just someone to help mediate, someone to help fight for you. I've gotten people books, like I can buy people books. I've helped get tuition reimbursed. Like there's things that I can do for students that students wouldn't know unless they built that relationship. So find the people who will fight for you, who can go above and beyond to do those things for you, because that'll help make things easier. So I guess that leads right into this, because I've talked a little bit about what I do for students. So one of my favorite things about Carlow is that we have a lot of resources for our Pittsburgh Promise students on campus, which is my whole position. I was hired back in August of 2020 to head up this program, which is grant funded from the R.K. Mellon Foundation. And we do a lot of things for our students. This is a quote from one of my former students, Sarah. She was graduating last year and she felt so bad that she didn't have more opportunities to work within the program. Once she realized that it exists, she came to my office almost every single week to talk about how to find a job after college, how to figure out what her purpose is, what her passions are. So I'm someone that can help you throughout your college experience and also support you with anything, not anything, but like most things that you need, or at least direct you to the other resources. We talk about so many things in my program, all of the things that are listed here and more. We talk about financial literacy. I've helped students fill out the FAFSA. We've talked about time management, goal setting, procrastination, prioritizing, resiliency, mindfulness, navigating campus policies. Like if you can think of a question, I can think of an answer, or at least direct you to the other people who can help you. So I do lots and lots of things with students, and no question is too small. One of the great things is that you can get all of those skills while also being paid. We know that finances can be kind of tricky for everyone. So we want to make sure that we can help as much as we can. So I do personal coaching sessions with students. And if you do 4 sessions in the whole entire academic year, you get a $100 check, which is really nice. We offer skills activities like workshops. We've done a wide range of these: asynchronous online, synchronous online, and also synchronous in person. And you can earn points by doing activities, and that'll get you a $100 gift card to the bookstore that you can spend on books, swag, snacks, whatever we have available. We also have an internship program for our first and second year students that pays $17 an hour, and it's 10 weeks for 20 hours a week over the summer. And that's something that we are really, really proud of too, because our first and second year students get a really strong first professional experience that at a lot of colleges wouldn't happen until your maybe junior year. So we want to start our Pittsburgh Promise students off right out of the gate, getting that professional experience that's going to propel them into more complex and more major related experiences in the future. And in the background, you can see 3 of our students who went through the internship program last year. I'm on the one end, and then our graduate assistant, Emily, from last year is on the other end as well. And next, we're actually going to hear from one of our student interns as well. Let me make sure you can hear it. Can you hear? No. Okay, hold on one second. Let me see. Share sound. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Hamadi Maganga. Most people know me by Madi. I'm a sophomore here at Carlow. I'm going for a Bachelor of Science and Human Resources. I'm an alumni from Taylor Alderdice High School. If you see me around, don't be afraid to say hi. For my summer internship program, I worked at the Center That Cares. My position was assistant counselor. I taught social justice class and worked with high school students. I conducted a conversation on a movie we watched called The 13th, where we talked about how we felt. I have accomplished a lot during my summer internship program, like talking in front of a big crowd, which is something I have not done before this internship. I also carried conversation, usually in class, anywhere. I'll be the one who kept my opinions to myself. I wouldn't say anything, but during the program, I carried conversations, picked on kids to, say what they thought, and I also made connections. Making connections is really important when you have goals and you have somewhere in life you want to be. Those connections can help you, and they can have more connections that they can connect you to. What did I learn during this internship? I learned that take every opportunity you get to help others, because the person you help today could be the one to change your life tomorrow. Also, hard work is always recognized. Someone will see your efforts. Continue working hard. You may be working with someone that's lazy, someone who doesn't like working. Keep working. There's always someone watching you, and they could connect you. They could change your life. You could get a big promotion from that. Never give up. Continue the hard work. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, so Hamadi is one of our students who's very involved in the program. He did our internships, and he's, I think, really a great spokesperson for how to own your own college experience, which tied in very nicely. And these are just some of the few student things that they have said about the program. We provide school supplies, academic support. I've just been like a sounding board to students, a mentor, like whatever the students need. If they have a one-off question or want to have a relationship, those are things that we can do. So these are all the things that we want students to feel supported, cared for, and empowered to take over their own experience. So that is the end of my part of the portion, and I'm gonna pass it over to Melanie, but I encourage you to please follow us on Instagram. Even if you don't end up coming to Carlow, I share a lot of resources and useful information that you might find to be helpful while you are searching for college, still in high school, or in college yourself.
Yay, thank you, Miss Sarah.
Thank you.
Right, Trinity. So I want to start by asking you, what major are you interested in?
I do want to say really quickly, we do have Drayana who joined us as well.
Hi, Drayana.
I'm interested in getting a degree in biology.
Okay, do you know what you want to do with a biology degree?
Neurosurgeon.
Okay, all right. And then we have another student on. What major are you interested in?
I know Drayana's internet is often spotty because she's
Okay.
joining us from the road sometimes, but I know that Drayana, who is at Kappa right now, wants to be a medical illustrator.
You know what? We've heard that at Carlow. I'd love to hear that again. So combining a biology and an art degree is what our students have done who are interested in that. So I'd love to hear that again. So we do have a great art program as well as a biology major. But again, my name is Melanie Gable. I'm an assistant director of enrollment, and I know we're limited on time here, so I'm going to talk fast. So bear with me here. But I like to share our story because I think hearing about who we are and what we're about and kind of where we came from explains who we are and kind of how we interact on campus and why our personality is the way it is. So I'm going to give you a very short history lesson. Way back in the 1800s, there were a group of women living together that became known as the Sisters of Mercy. And the Sisters of Mercy had a set of resources amongst themselves, and they had a vision, a mission that they wanted to serve the poor, the sick, and the uneducated. So way back in the 1800s, there were a group of 7 women that decided, you know what, we're going to leave Ireland and come to America to serve, again, the poor, the sick, and the uneducated there. So in 1843, 7 Sisters of Mercy got on a boat, sailed across the ocean, and came to America. And Pittsburgh was one of their first stops. And when they came to Pittsburgh, they settled right on our campus and they went to work. They said, okay, what can we do here? How can we help? They saw several needs in society that they fulfilled. Things like, how can we help the sick? They founded the Mercy Hospital systems. I'm sure you all have heard of the Mercy Hospitals. All kinds of different social services at the time, things like orphanages, all kinds of different schools from early childhood learning centers all the way through high schools. Really, again, wherever there was a need in society, these Sisters of Mercy try to fulfill that need in some capacity. And if you think about it, in the 1800s, women doing this type of work was unheard of. This was so unusual. These women came to America, they came to Pittsburgh, and they got stuff done. They were movers, they were shakers, they were making stuff happen in Pittsburgh. And because of that, they were recognized as one of the most influential groups in the founding of the city of Pittsburgh for all of the amazing things that they did. did all of these things. They said, okay, what's next for us? Where's our next great need that we can fulfill here in Pittsburgh? The Sisters of Mercy saw that there was a need for a school of higher learning for women. In the early 1900s, women didn't have many opportunities to get a college degree. That was really reserved for men. Sisters of Mercy were like, nope, we're making a change. They started what was then known as Mount Mercy College. We opened our doors in 1929, right where we are right now, under our original name of Mount Mercy College. We were a school for women with a few majors. We have grown and we have changed over the years, but if you think about what those Sisters of Mercy did at that very beginning, they were just, like I said, movers and shakers. But they were also a little bit crazy because, like I said, we opened our doors in 1929. And if you all can think about history, what was happening here in America in 1929, we were in the Great Depression. The Sisters of Mercy opened a college during the Great Depression, where people were just, thinking about what's going to get my next meal, let alone I'm going to send my student to college today. You know what? I'm going to send my daughter to college today. Again, unheard of, but they made it happen. They saw it as a great need and they fulfilled that need. And here we are today. They continue fulfilling needs in society and doing all of these great works, but we were founded as a way to fulfill that need. Now, Carlow has grown and we have changed over the years from 1929. Under our original name of Mount Mercy College, we did change our name to Carlow College in the 60s, and then we got our university status in 2005. So lots have changed. We actually started admitting men in 1945. It was relatively recently that Carlow started admitting men. We've been admitting men since the GI Bill. When soldiers were given money to go back to war or to go back to school after World War II, schools here in Pittsburgh were filling up. There was just no more seats in the classroom, and the men were being turned away. Sisters of Mercy saw that as the next great need, that they said, hey, we need to start admitting these men. So we've been admitting men since 1945. We've added over 40 to 50 different academic programs. We've added 14 varsity sports. So just so many things have grown and changed on our campus, but we still hold tight to the fact that we are a Mercy school and what that means to us as our identity, as our personality. There are certain values of the Sisters of Mercy that are ingrained throughout our campus in all kinds of different ways. Although we have grown and we have changed, we still hold tight to the fact that we're a Mercy school. So what that means, certain of the Sisters of Mercy are things like, obviously, mercy is a big one. Social justice is huge. Giving a voice to those who don't have a voice has a very big presence on our campus in all kinds of different ways, from our Social Justice Institute, through all kinds of different offerings on campus with speakers, even the class offerings. Service is another big one. Giving back, volunteer work, making a difference in this world, hospitality, discovery. All of these things are ingrained throughout our campus in all kinds of different ways, because on our campus, we really want to give the students all of those wonderful opportunities to get engaged with social justice, to become those strong, ethical leaders, respect, dignity, inclusion. We do this because here at Carlow, you're going to get an amazing education academically, but you're going to get a little bit more. At Carlow, you're going to get the tools that you need, the confidence that you need. Once you graduate, you are now going to be that strong, ethical leader, being the best in your field, going out into the community to make a meaningful difference. You are now going to be that mover, that shaker, that little bit of a crazy person who has what it takes to make this world just a little bit better, just like those Sisters of Mercy intended way back in the early 1900s. We do ask our students, what is it about Carlow that made you want to come here? And we always hear the same responses. And surprisingly, it generally is not because of our Mercy tradition. Our Mercy heritage is something students tend to learn about later once they're on campus. It's not always something they know about on the onset. Students really choose Carlow because of the things like our size, our location, and our academic programs. We're a small school. We have about 2,300 students total on our campus. That's from the undergraduate level through the doctoral level. Our undergrad program is about 1,000 to 1,300 students only. So our average class sizes are between about 15 and 20. And I know, Trinity, you were saying earlier, worrying about professors who have student coursework, with lots of students in each class and things like that. Our average class size is 15 to 20. And now that's freshman, sophomore level courses. When your classes get more intense and more concentrated, your class size actually is going to get much smaller, maybe more like 8 to 12 in those higher level courses. So our student to faculty ratio on campus is 10 to 1. You're never going to walk into an auditorium style classroom of 250 students and be lectured at for an hour and a half while you sit and take notes, you get up and leave. In our classroom with 15 to 20 students, you're going to be engaged in the classroom experience. You're going to be a very active participant in what's happening in the classroom. You're going to be pushed, maybe push your comfort zones in some scenarios, but that's where the growth happens. That's where the learning happens. And that's why students pick a small private liberal arts university like Carlow, because they want to be in that atmosphere where they are a part of that conversation in the classroom. With the 10 to 1 student to faculty ratio, your professors get to know you. They know your strengths, they know your weaknesses, they know where you excel, maybe where you need a little extra push. They're going to get you to where you need to be at graduation. We're known as a teaching university, a little bit different than a research-based university. So at a teaching university, teaching is the #1 priority for their professors. The research comes secondary to teaching. So your success is their success. They are there to get you to where you need to be. Even though we're small, we have all kinds of things going on campus, from, things that are resume building, student government, activities related to your major, all the way through things that are just fun, social sororities, things like that. But studies show the more involved you are outside of the classroom, the better you do it academically in the classroom. So get involved, just like Sarah was saying earlier. There's so much to be a part of on our campus. Get out there and get involved. So it's because of our location. I know all of you are coming from relatively closely, and you're probably like, it's just Pittsburgh, it's where I live. Thousands of students are traveling to Pittsburgh every year to get an education. This is one of the best places to be a college student in the United States. So much is happening here for you, and we are just so fortunate to be able to utilize Pittsburgh as an extension of our campus. We have kind of the best of both worlds situation, a 14-acre campus. It's just us, very safe, very serene. It takes maybe 5 minutes to get from class to class, so you're not, traveling miles to get to your next class. But like I said, we can use Pittsburgh as an extension of our campus. Our students are leaving with a minimum generally of 3 experiential type learning experiences under their belt before graduation. That's 3 internships. That's clinical work, hours and hours of clinical work. There's just so much that our students are able to do because of where we're at, because of the connections our professors have, because of the prestige of our programs. We are just really fortunate to be where we're at. And like I said, the best of both worlds, that small, intimate campus, but steps away from amazing things happening. For instance, our nursing majors are able to do nursing clinical work starting sophomore year. And we're generally going up to at least 8 different hospitals, going everywhere, getting clinical experience. Business majors, we have more internship opportunities available to them than we have students to fill them. And there's just so much available to our students, again, because of the connections our professors have, where we are, and the prestige of our programs. And just because of our academic, we have some really strong academic programs, and we do encourage double majors. We encourage minors. We want students to be as marketable as possible upon graduation. Our majors are broken down into 2 colleges. We have the College of Health and Wellness, is where you'll find our nursing program. Our nursing program generally is one of our most popular programs on our campus. It is a direct admit to nursing program. So you do use high school criteria to admit to the nursing program. Nursing classes start freshman year. Clinical work starts sophomore year. We do have that beautiful nursing laboratory, the Sims laboratory, where we do have the Sims mannequins that the professors can control. They can change their breathing patterns, their heart rates. They can throw up. They can have a baby. They can yell at you. They do all of the things, but they also bring in actors, which is the coolest thing, that will exhibit different symptoms, and they'll have loved ones with them. So the nurses are interacting with real people and not just Sims mannequins in a controlled environment. So much is happening on our campus within that major. We also have a really strong respiratory therapy program, which is a 4-year program that studies prenatal through death, really focusing on the respiratory system. As you can imagine, respiratory therapists are on very high demand right now, thanks to the pandemic. Can work anywhere from hospital settings to sleep settings, doctor's offices. There's all kinds of different opportunities for respiratory therapists. And if you're interested in the healthcare field, but maybe more on the business side of things, we have a great healthcare management program, as well as a healthcare data analytics program. As you can imagine, data analysts are needed everywhere. They're using that data to make decisions. Everybody's looking for a data analyst. Our healthcare data analytics major really focuses it down to the healthcare systems. On top of that, we have the College of Arts and Sciences. Here you'll find that art major. I heard we have a student interested in arts, studio arts, painting, drawing, ceramics, all the way through more of this technical side of things, art and graphic design, art therapy preparation, art history. Pairing that with biology kind of sounds like something that you would be interested in doing to allow you to become illustrator for those biology books and things like that. We also have really interesting biology with an accelerated master's degree in cardiovascular perfusion technology. This is a 4.5-year degree. Students complete this program. A perfusion technologist is the person who operates the heart and lung machines during certain things like open heart surgeries when the heart is stopped. You're running the machines that keeps the heart or the blood oxygenated and flowing through the body. You're keeping the patient alive. It's a 4.5-year program. You finish with a master's degree, and starting salary right now is over $120,000 as a 22-year-old. 100% placement in the hospitals. We're one of only 17 programs with this type of program. Very interesting program if you're interested in the healthcare field, but maybe not wanting to do the years of medical school, or maybe not wanting to do the direct patient care like nursing. Your patients are sleeping. It's still direct patient care, but your patients are all asleep, and it's more on that technical side of things. Criminology is a big one. Creative writing, you can focus on poetry, fiction, creative nonfiction, forensic accounting. You are kind of the expert following the money for things like embezzlement, fraud, all kinds of programs related to psychology, counseling, crisis and trauma, social work, things like that. And I know I'm going really, really fast, so stop me if you want any more information on these programs. Brand new major in health sciences. We're really, really excited about this program. Our health sciences major is a 3-year accelerated undergraduate degree where you pick your track in 4 different areas: occupational therapy, physical therapy, physician's assistant, or speech language pathology. These programs prepare you to apply to either Carlow's graduate program or a graduate program of your choice. The undergraduate health sciences program and these tracks prepare you and ensure that you get the prerequisites required to apply to these programs. Lots of resources on campus, and like Sarah was saying earlier, use those resources. I think she covered this really, really well, but she is kind of your point person, really. If you don't know where to go or what resources to use Sarah. That's what she's there for. She'll point you in the right direction. But we have all kinds of wonderful opportunities on top of that that have just wonderful support services on campus. Any athletes in the room? Well, we are an AIA Division II equivalent, so we do offer athletic scholarships in 14 varsity sports on our campus. So if you're interested in athletics, we can certainly get you in touch with coaches. They make all roster and scholarship decisions. So the application process, I wanted to talk to you about a few things. It is free to apply. You can apply either on the Common App or on our application right on our website. And you can apply as test optional. If you apply as test optional, the only required materials would be your application and your official high school transcripts from freshman year to the completion of your junior year. If you do apply test optional, your application will be considered complete at that point. If you're applying with test scores, you can submit either SAT, ACT, or CLT scores. Once we get those things, I can review you for admission and for scholarships. I do review for both at the same time, and I wanted to show you scholarships. I think this is something that's really, really important to show you. scholarships, anybody that's meeting Carlow's academic criteria will be awarded some type of scholarship, and it's very transparent how scholarships are awarded. You can see right now, if you know what your cumulative GPA is, what your scholarship would be. And that is renewable for all 4 years as long as you maintain full-time status and academic performance. On top of that, anybody in here who decides to live on campus and is Pittsburgh Promise eligible, you get an additional $2,000 for a housing award. Anybody living in the 15213 area code also gets an additional $2,000 that's stackable to that other money. And something that I'm really excited to tell you about, any school to career participants get an extra $3,000 award on top of those other things I mentioned. All of it is stackable. So if you're getting the Pittsburgh Promise, if you're getting, say, our $20,000 academic scholarship, plus you live in the 15213 area code, plus you get the school to career participant award, you're looking at a lot of scholarship money right off the bat before financial aid is even applied. So it's really exciting to offer that to you guys. So take advantage of this. File your FAFSA. On top of all of those things, you could also qualify for any of that federal, state, institutional grant loan money that you could qualify for. I am going to stop because I know we're over time, and I'm sorry, and I tried to go as fast as I could. But if you guys need anything, I'm going to type my information in the chat, okay? My email address I'm going to put right in the chat.
And also on top of that, so the Pittsburgh Promise, you get the housing award of $2,000 per semester, I think. And then there's also like the Promise scholarship too. So you would also get the scholarship that goes towards tuition or however you want it to be applied as well. So if you haven't looked into the Pittsburgh Promise scholarship, definitely do that, because it's free money, right? So scholarships, free money, grants, free money. So get your FAFSA in early as soon as you can, so you can qualify for FIA, so you can get grants from the state. So those are the two big financial things you want to take advantage of: scholarships and grants.
This is
And
wonderful.
we're really
Thank you,
excited
guys.
that we're really excited that you all are eligible for that additional money. When we met with them earlier this year, and that was an area that we were definitely interested. There we go. I'm moving. I'm sorry, guys. But that was an area that we really wanted to support. I was telling, we were meeting yesterday, and I said that I have two nieces that have graduated from Carlow. One is there getting her master's degree in psychology, and the other one, Lord only knows what it was, but it was health related. She had a dual major. I mean, she was super smart. I was like, I've never even heard of what you're going to school for, but it was such a great program, and she had so much support. So Dreana, Trinity, great place for you all to look into and consider applying. I mean, I know, you all have a couple of years, but, keep that on the radar, because it's an amazing school. The campus is gorgeous. So, definitely keep that in mind.
And if you can think of any questions that you have for Ms. Sarah or Ms. Melanie, and you somehow unbelievably misplaced their email address, please give me a shout. I'd be happy to connect you with them as well. All of our presenters and of course me and Miss Carla, just because the session has ended doesn't mean we're not still here for any questions you got. So if you need anything, give us a shout. Could we please have one more mics unmuted, if not cameras on? Thank you, and round of applause for Ms. Sarah and Ms. Melanie, please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you
You're
both.
welcome.
It was amazing information. I do appreciate it.
Thank you, and have a wonderful weekend and a great holiday.
Here to help if you want to partner with anything on campus. We'd be glad to.
Wonderful. Thank you again.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
great
you so
holiday,
much.
guys.